Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever gotten tripped up by those tiny little English words that seem to make a huge difference? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to tackle some of the most common and confusing verbs to help you speak with a whole lot more confidence.
You know that moment when you're about to ask for something and you pause? You're thinking, which one sounds right? Both of them seem correct, but they carry a slightly different feeling, a different tone. And that's exactly the kind of subtle difference we're going to master today.
So, our goal is simple, to give you that confidence to pick the right word every single time. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly which one to use and, more importantly, why. So, let's get started.
Okay, first up, we've got a classic pair that trips up so many people, can and could. The main difference between them really just boils down to two things, talking about ability and being polite.
So here's the breakdown. We use can when we're talking about an ability we have right now, in the present. Like, I can swim. Could, on the other hand, usually talks about an ability you had in the past. And when it comes to asking for things, using could is a super easy way to sound just a little more formal and polite.
Let's look at a real example to make it stick. Hilde can recite sonnets now. See, that's her ability today. But she could recite them all in college. That's what she was able to do back then. It's a really clear way to see that difference in time.
Now, what about making requests? Here's the thing. You can use both. They're both correct. But could just adds this nice layer of politeness. Asking, could you help me? Sounds a little softer, maybe a bit more formal than a direct, can you help me? It's a small tweak that can make a big difference in your tone.
All right, next up, let's dive into must and have to. Now, both of these words are all about necessity, things you need to do, but you can't always swap them. Let's find out why.
The key difference here is all about formality and urgency. We tend to use must for really formal rules or super serious obligations. Have to is way more common in our everyday chats for just general things we need to get done.
Think about an official rule, like at a college. Students must pass this class. There's no wiggle room, right? It's a requirement. In formal situations like this, must is the word you're going to see.
And check out this contrast. We must call the doctor immediately. Feels like an emergency, doesn't it? But we have to make an appointment. Well, that's just a normal task on your to-do list. You can really feel that difference in urgency.
All right, on to our final pair, may and might. Now these guys are a little tricky because they do two different jobs. They talk about what's possible, and they're also used to ask for permission. So first, let's talk about possibility. And I've got some good news for you here. When you're just talking about something being possible, may and might are super similar. A lot of the time, you can use them interchangeably. For instance, if you say, they might win, you're just saying it's a possibility. It could happen, but it's not a sure thing. And honestly, you could also say they may win, and the meaning would be pretty much exactly the same. But here's where it gets interesting. When we ask for permission, our old friend can comes back into the picture. And the real difference here is formality. May is your go-to for more formal situations, while can is what you're going to hear all the time in casual, everyday chats.
So for example, you'd ask your boss or a stranger, may I speak to your manager? But a kid asking a parent would say, can Kiko come over to play? See, the context is everything.
Okay, you've seen the rules, you've seen the examples. Now it's time to put that knowledge to the test. Let's do a couple of quick questions. You ready? So what do you think? Imagine you're on an airplane and you hear this announcement. Is this just a possibility or is it a hard rule?
And the answer is must. Yep, this is a formal rule and instruction from the airline. It's not just a suggestion, it's a requirement.
All right, number 2. This is a request, maybe a text to a friend. What's the best choice here? Could or can? Take a second to think about it.
It's a trick question. Gotcha. Both are perfectly fine here. As we talked about, could is just a slightly more polite, maybe a gentler way of asking. But can is also super common and totally correct in a casual setting like this.
Awesome job. Look, understanding these small but really important differences isn't just about memorizing grammar rules. It's about learning to sound more natural, more precise, and way more confident when you speak every day.
And I'm not kidding. Mastering these verbs is a huge step forward. It's a total game changer, really. It shows you've got a deeper feel for the language, and it gives you more tools to express yourself exactly the way you want to.
And if you enjoyed figuring this stuff out and you're feeling ready to take your skills to the next level, well, I know the perfect next step for you.
What we did today is just a little taste of what you can learn at the American English Academy. If you're ready to make some real progress with clear, structured explanations just like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to continue your journey. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy learning.